This was a very personal role for me. My parents are Vietnamese refugees, and they left Vietnam after the war and ended up in a refugee camp in Thailand, and that's actually where I was born, was in that refugee camp. I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, because we had a sponsor family there. I've had a very interesting and tumultuous sort of family history, but here I am. I seem pretty all-American to everyone that I encounter, and they have no idea that this is my background and this is where I came from. So I'm so glad that I get this opportunity to play this wonderful character of Ngoc Lan. She's very complex and interesting and multidimensional, and something that we've never seen in a movie before. She's so different from me. She's really direct, and she doesn't suffer fools. She's fearless, even though she's the most physically vulnerable out of that whole group of guys that she's with. It's really rad to see a lady like that, just holding her own and standing her ground. Um, I'm, I'm glad that Alexander Payne and Jim Taylor wrote this wonderful, wonderful role for a woman and an Asian woman. Most people who, if English is not their first language and they come over here, they have a limited vocabulary and they have an accent when they speak English. It doesn't matter if you're Italian or Spanish or from anywhere from South America. You have an accent, and so I wanted to stay authentic and true to that, and not sort of water down the accent to make it easier or more palatable for people. I think we hear accents in our daily lives all the time. If you live in any major city, you encounter a lot of accents, so it shouldn't be so shocking to hear it in a movie. But for some reason, because opportunities for people from other backgrounds isn't as plentiful in Hollywood, it is shocking for people. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are very timely and prevalent, but that's not necessarily what the story is about. It's really about human nature and why we kind of find ourselves in the pickles that we seem to often find ourselves in. We have this Norwegian scientist who comes up with an amazing technology to help humanity, but what do? We use it so that we can live in a big fat mansion. It's a get-rich-quick scheme. And then other people use it to downsize prisoners, which happens in my case with my character. So it's really interesting how they have woven together these really big ideas and issues and made it very enjoyable and funny and heartfelt and emotional. Most Americans will never know what it's like to leave their country and have to go to a foreign country and leave everything that they know behind. So that happens with Matt's character, and that's what happens with my character. So that is the big adventure. We also go on another sort of adventure in the movie of a funner kind. Alexander Payne has a very specific sense of humor. There's a rhythm to his writing, and he knows exactly what he wants, but he's not a dictator on set. I don't know how he does it, but he somehow finesses um, performances and is able to have this really offbeat sort of timing to his work. His composer, who he's worked with a lot before, also adds these like really unusual music choices underneath the scenes as well. It's a really interesting movie. That's kind of what you leave the movie with, hopefully. Hopefully you think, what am I doing? What's important to me? How am I treating my neighbor? How am I treating my loved ones? And that's the perfect sentiment for the holidays for this time of year.